It's voice cloning engine v3.0. So what we've done is we've updated the voice cloning engine from the ground up. And basically what it does now is it allows you to match the speed, the tonality, the pitch, accents, and all that kind of good stuff to match you or a person you took permission to use their voice. And especially powerful when if you've tried other platforms out there which do voice cloning, you will notice they're not exactly sounding like you, or that kind of use case where you want to use it for, say, a YouTube video with your face on it and stuff like that. It becomes a problem where, let's say you created with your voice once, and then now you want to turn it into like an AI generated voice. It will not sound exactly like you. And then all kinds of problems start occurring. So we fixed that and made it the best in the world right now. And that is basically the voice cloning engine v3.0. So where is this located exactly? So this will show up when you go in to create audio, right? In your CloneVoice application, it will show up exactly here. Okay. And we've optimized it with English right now, which makes it the best, perfect voice cloning for English and other languages as well, the popular European languages as well. We've been working on and improving it, and you'll start seeing that in the coming days as well, because we wanted to release this really quickly out to you. So how this works is, let's say you say you already clone your voice. So let's say I'm going to say Paul talking about organic gardening or something. And then you select a voice. So this is my clone voice I want to use, right? So this is the audio I've actually recorded and I've published. So here you can use that. So I can put Paul natural voice or whatever. So let's play this particular voice here. And then let me show you. So this is the Paul uploaded audio, Paul recorded audio. So let's just play this, for example, right? Uploaded calm voice. So let's see.
If you're in need of a doctor, you probably have a lot of questions, such as, will my procedures hurt? Do you accept my insurance? Or even, do you perform the advanced
All right, see how that sounds, right? So let's just select this one, and then we'll just generate some script, right? So I'm just gonna say topic is organic gardening benefits without fertilizers. Let's say it's the topic I want to do. And then the idea is that explain or educational videos I want to generate. So let's click generate, right? Remember, I checked, it was pre-checked the high similarity mode, all right? Which is, you see this right here. It says boost high similarity v2.0 high quality. All right. So this is what we are talking about. It has to be checked for this to work. And then it's generated as the script, right? So let's just go in and generate the audio right now. And then, of course, you're going to go in here because of the fact that we're actually making sure it's exactly the same as your voice. For this particular feature, we are not going to give you the option for emotions, because when you add, say, a happy version of your voice and sad version of your voice and stuff like that, it will change the tonality of your voice. It won't sound like you, especially for YouTube videos or audiobooks, or let's say you want to use it for specific cases where the audio is exactly the same throughout, right? And even if you record 6 months from now, it's going to be the exact same. That is the reason why. But you can add expressions, right? Like laughing and all that kind of good stuff. If you want to change the tonality, just clone another voice with a happy tone, sad tone, and that stuff. Or you can, similarity is not the most important thing for you, for example, what you can do is you can go back and just uncheck the high similarity, high quality mode. All right. Because we use a completely new algorithm that we spend many, many months to ensure that high similarity, because somebody who has a YouTube channel, myself, and somebody who is an influencer and all that kind of stuff, me and every other person I consult with, the number one issue when it comes to using voice is the similarity. So making sure that works. So you go click generate audio, and then it starts generating. Now, here is the most important thing I want you to understand. For a voice like mine, see, my voice is not the most, let's say a neutral voice, right? Like, let's say a British accent, or let's say, somebody who's narrated audiobooks. I have my accent is slightly unique, right? And because of that, it's never easy for us to match like for like when it comes to my accent. That's been an issue for a while. And this happens with everybody because our voice never sounds like an English professor's voice that these AI algorithms used to train on, right? Especially if you're from parts of Asia or Latin America, or you're from, say, South Africa, and some of these areas where you speak English, but it has that slight accent to it, right? And the mannerisms, let's say, or that sort of thing. So if you're from Asia, you understand what I'm talking about. Latin America, you understand what I'm talking about. So this matches that. So let me play it.
What if I told you your garden could thrive, producing abundant, healthy food without a single bag of synthetic fertilizer? It might sound impossible, but it's the core of organic gardening without chemical inputs, and it's simpler than you think. Many gardeners rely heavily on commercial fertilizers, believing they're essential for plant growth. But in a
Does that sound like me? Just you be the judge. We've also put the same algorithm, by the way, and basically we put it under the My Podcast as well, right? So when you go into that, this is by default, by the way. So in the same algorithm applies to your clone voice, and when you go into the podcast and you do this, you put the same natural, calm voice, whatever. It will do the same thing for podcast. In the case of the podcast, which is obviously in minimum of 2 speakers, so that is the basic idea as well. And the beautiful part about this is that this is automatic. You don't have to do anything extra. So meaning if you already went in and you cloned a voice in the past, we still use that. You don't have to do it by where you have to generate a new voice and stuff. All your voices already there, like in this my voice that you see, Paul excited tone and all this stuff, Paul speaking natural Spanish, whatever. All this stuff is saved from prior, so you can reuse them. No need to do anything new or extra. Now, here's what makes it even more exciting. See, sometimes what happens is your voice slightly changes. Either you're sick, or sometimes you have a lot of excitement, like what I'm speaking right now. Maybe you have a slightly different tonality change when you're talking on the microphone versus conversational style. Normal with human beings, right? So we can create a new voice based upon that as well. So for example, you see I have this Paul excited tone voice. Watch this.
so excited, as you can see from my voice. This is going to be the best thing that I've ever created.
That's crazy. It's exaggerated. But what if you want to clone this one? Same logic. You can make that happen as well. So you basically go in, Paul excited tone, and then you select your excited tone voice, and then you want to narrate it, right? So I have this right here. You see, I put Paul excited tone voice here. And then what you can do now is just select that. And then again, same thing. Paul talking about organic farming that he is super excited about, right? And then again, I'm going to put the same stuff, but in this particular case, I can change it to if I want, but I'll just put the same setting just to show you how a normal human being's voice changes so much. And that's what makes this high similarity thing so powerful, because generally speaking, we have different tones to our voice, different pacing to our voice, depending on how happy we are, sad we are, how excited we are, and all that kind of good stuff, right? And then, so again, I have this one right here, and then let's just generate now. And then again, I click on it. You can change the speed as well if you want, but I wouldn't, because I want to keep it exactly the same, right? And so let me show you how this works and how this sounds like. Let's listen to this.
What if I told you there's a way to grow food that not only tastes amazing, but also heals our planet? My name is Paul, and I am absolutely thrilled to talk about organic farming.
See that? That's the excited tone I was talking about. So this is the beauty of CloneVoice high similarity engine. Think of like YouTube videos or podcasts you might be doing, or even, for example, you want to create an explainer video, or you want to create an audio book, and you want that same tonality for that chapter or that whole book, or whatever the case is, right? Where similarity, tonality, pacing, pitch has to be exactly like for like to the uploaded audio, regardless of accents thrown in sometimes, or regardless of sometimes you might basically, for example, have some pacing issues when you're speaking to a microphone versus actually you pre-record it. Doesn't matter. It's going to take it like for like. That's what makes it revolutionary.